Book of Heaven, Volume 6. 11th to the 20th of April 1905. Page 76 to 78. April 11, 1905. How perseverance is seal of eternal life and development of divine life. Being very afflicted because of the privation of my adorable Jesus, I was saying to myself, how cruel he has become with me. I myself cannot understand how his good heart can reach the point of doing this. And then, if persevering pleases him so much, yet, my persevering does not move his good heart. While I was saying this and other nonsense, all of a sudden he came and told me, indeed, that of the soul which pleases me the most is perseverance, because perseverance is seal of eternal life and development of divine life. In fact, just as God is ever old and ever new and immutable, in the same way, through perseverance, by having exercised it always, the soul is old, and by her attitude of exercising it, she is ever new. And each time she exercises it she is renewed in God, remaining immutable, and without realizing it. Since through perseverance she continuously acquires divine life within herself, by acquiring God she is sealed with eternal life. Can there be a seal safer than God himself? April 16, 1905. Suffering is reigning. Continuing in my usual state, my lovable Jesus made himself seen for a little, with a nail inside his heart, and drawing near my heart he would touch it with that nail, and I would feel mortal pains. Then he said to me, my daughter, it is the world that drives this nail deep inside my heart, giving me a continuous death. So, by justice, just as they give me continuous death, I will allow that they give death among themselves, killing one another like many dogs. And while saying this, he made me hear the screams of the rebel, to the point that I remained deafened for 4 or 5 days. Then, as I was very much in suffering, he came back a little later and told me, today is the day of the palms in which I was proclaimed king. All must aspire to a kingdom, but in order to acquire the eternal kingdom it is necessary for the creature to acquire the regime of herself through the dominion of her passions. The only means is suffering, because suffering is reigning. That is, through patience, man puts himself in his place, becoming king of himself and of the eternal kingdom. April 20, 1905. In these times humanity is like a bone out of place. How to know whether the soul has dominated her passions? As I was in my usual state, blessed Jesus came for just a little, almost in the act of chastising the people, and he told me, my daughter, creatures lacerate my flesh. They trample upon my blood continuously, and I will permit that their flesh be lacerated and their blood dispersed. In these times humanity is like a bone out of place, out of its center, and in order to put it in place again and make it re-enter into its center, it is necessary that it be undone. Then, calming himself a little, he added, my daughter, the soul can know whether she has dominated her passions, if, touched by temptations or by people, she takes it into no consideration. For example, she is tempted to impurity. If she has dominated this passion the soul takes it into no consideration, and her very nature remains in its place. If on the other hand she hasn't, the soul becomes annoyed, she afflicts herself, and feels a rotten stream flow within her body. Or, one person mortifies or insults someone else. If this one has dominated the passion of pride, she remains at peace. If on the other hand she hasn't, she feels a stream of fire, of indignation, of pride within herself, which turns her completely upside down. In fact, when the passion is there, at the occasion, it comes out into the field, and so with all the rest.